All right, in this time I want to talk about how to use a concordance. A concordance is one of those really important Bible study tools. In fact, it's hard to do good interpretation without some kind of a concordance. There are two types of concordances that you can use. One, this is more the old-fashioned way, is a book. It's a little bit harder to use, it's a little bit longer to use, and you probably can't do as much with it, but still a very useful tool. But today, people tend to use Bible programs on their computers. And what I want to do in this time is to show you how to use a Bible tool for comparison that I use when I do my studies. It's a Bible program called BibleWorks. It is a reasonably expensive tool. It's between $400 and $500, but it's something that I think will pay for itself if you do go ahead and get it. Probably do need to do a little bit of a review at this point in terms of the 4 keys to interpretation. There's the first key, all of them begin with C. The first one is content, which is the actual passage itself and all of the data and the details that you find in the passage. The second key is context, and context is simply the stuff that came before your passage and the stuff that comes after your passage, and so we're understanding our passage within that larger unit in which it's found. Very important for interpretation to do that. The third key is comparison, and that's what we're using a concordance for. We're actually looking up words and phrases, and we're trying to see if any light gets shed on our passage by looking at similar passages using similar words. And then the fourth key to interpretation is consultation. But I thought we'd use Revelation 3, 1 through 6, one of the other letters to the churches in Revelation, the letter to the church at Sardis, and we'll pick 3 words out of this passage to study in our concordance. I'll read the passage first, Revelation 3, verses 1 to 6. And to the angel of the church in Sardis write, He who has the 7 spirits of God and the 7 stars says this, I know your deeds, that you have a name that you are alive, but you are dead. Wake up and strengthen the things that remain, which were about to die. For I have not found your deeds completed in the sight of my God. Remember, therefore, what you have received and heard, and keep it, and repent. If therefore you do not wake up, I will come like a thief, and you will not know at what hour I will come upon you. But you have a few people in Sardis who have not soiled their garments, and they will walk with me in white, for they are worthy. He who overcomes shall thus be clothed in white garments, and I will not erase his name from the book of life, and I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. The first word that I want us to look up in our concordance is the word overcome. Now, what we need to do first of all is I'll just go over to here and we'll type in our reference. And that is verse 5. And we have several versions of the New Testament open here, or this passage open. We'll go with the New American Standard at this point. A couple different ways that you can change the versions. One is right here. We can go from the New Living Translation, and we can select another one. In this case, we'll select the New American Standard Version. And what we need to do too is to set our limits for this particular search. So I go down here on the bottom, and we're going to clear the limits that are there already. And we're not going to apply any limits to this particular search. So we'll get all of the uses of this word. Another thing we can do, we could either do this in English or we could do this in Greek. We'll start with English, and I've actually got the wrong word, or the wrong verse. Let's be sure I had the right verse. Verse 5. He who overcomes will thus be clothed in white garments. We're going to do a right click on that, and we're going to do search on word. And if you go down here, that tells us that there are 10 verses that use this particular word in this particular form, overcomes. But we might be able to find a few more words if we expanded our search by the use of wildcards. So we're going to get rid of the S and the E, and we're going to put a star in there. And we're going to get rid of the O, and we're going to put a star in there, so that we'll pick up overcome, overcame, overcomes, overcoming, overcomer, overcomers, anything like that, and then we just hit enter. And now we have quite a few. We've got 34 verses, and we have 37 hits. So some of the verses use it more than one. Now, something else that's kind of interesting with this particular program is we can go over here to statistics, click on that, and we get a bar graph that tells us what books of the Bible use this word percentage of time. And we see that Revelation uses 14 of the 37 times it occurs in the Bible. And so, and actually we've also got the, no, we just have the Bible here. 38% of the uses of this word occur in Revelation. Another thing that we could do, and we'll go back to our passage, Revelation 3:5, we'll click on that, is we can actually look at the Greek word. So I can put my cursor over the word nikon, which is a form of the word nikao, to overcome, and we could search on that. And what we come up with is we come up with 55 times. Still, Revelation has the most. We've actually got the Apocrypha selected, so 4th Maccabees uses it 15 times. We could change that if we want, set new limits, and we could just select the Old Testament and the New Testament. We could do that same search. And there we have 31 times. Revelation has 17 or 55% of all of the occurrences of this particular word in the Bible. Now, if we wanted to just limit that to the book of Revelation, we could do that as well. We could clear all of those, and we could select Revelation. We could do that same search on Nikao, to conquer. And we have the 15 verses and the 17 times that to overcome occurs in the book of Revelation. What that should tell us is that this is an important concept in this book. We can actually do something else. We can look in all of John's writings. So we can set the limits up here to John. And so this is going to look in John's Gospel, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, and in Revelation as well. And so we can pick our word again. Search on all forms of lemma. That's just a term that means every form of that base root form. And we have 24 hits in 21 verses this time. And there they are there. So overcoming is evidently a very important concept to John. We'll pick another word. We'll go back to English again. We'll look at the New American Standard. And we will look at the word white. And we'll just check this in the book of Revelation. And 17 verses, 18 hits, we find that word white in the book of Revelation. So there's something going on about white, and then if we want to include in that clothe, so we'll do clothe, and then we'll put a star after the H, so we pick up clothe, clothes, clothing, that type of thing, clothed, and we'll check on that. And Revelation has 18 occurrences of that in English. So we see that, I guess that's John as well, John and Revelation. We see that the use of overcoming, the use of being clothed and white clothing is a very important concept in the book of Revelation. That's just one example of how you can use a concordance to find information to help to sharpen your interpretations and to understand what you're seeing there.